All right, today we're going to do a full Apollo setup here. Uh, I'm excited about this because the company we're doing this for is called Linens in Love. It's actually a nonprofit working with the founders, May and Vivian. So basically, what they do, and give you the background just so you understand their targeting and the messaging, and then all the information they gave and what they're trying to achieve. And then we show you soup to nuts how to build that out in Apollo. Everything from the account lists to the personas to the messaging, the trigger, the pain points, intent data topics, connecting mailboxes, email deliverability, best practices, all that stuff. So, and usually we don't get to show all this because, it's pretty strategic with B2B clients. They don't necessarily want all that information out there, but little different here, helping these guys out, May and Vivian. So basically, what they do is take um, linens from hotels that were going to be discarded and end up in the landfill. So these are like high quality blanket sheets, pillows, towels. Maybe there's slight imperfections on them that the hotels can't use anymore. So instead of trucking them off to landfills, um, Linens in Love collects them all and then works with charities. So homeless facilities, low income households like animal shelters and that, all things like that, and kind of repurpose the linen. So, um, very admirable work that they're doing. So we're helping them get set up and basically reaching out to some of these hotels. And um, so as part of the process, so we're going to start with a brand new, fresh Apollo instance and set everything up for them. Um, when we This is how we work with clients. Usually we have this like shared Notion document. So they did a really good job of filling out all this information as far as their targeting, their criteria, all that stuff. So I'm going to basically take all this and use it to set up their Apollo instance. So um, they basically obviously want to target hotels. These are some of the keywords like sustainability, donation, corporate social responsibility, green, waste reduction, etc. Um, they came through here and um, identified like what are the some of the example um, dream list accounts. If you scroll down, so they built out different personas. So either GMs, marketing sales directors, sustainability managers, which is a very niche, good title, operations directors, each of those personas' responsibilities are, pain points, how we solve the pain, objections, etc. And then some different messaging around here that we can use to build out the sequences and kind of pain points, and then some customer stories. So we'll use all this stuff, feed it into Apollo, and use it to build kind of an automated outbound engine. So again, starting with a brand new, clean, blank Apollo. So the first thing I'm going to do is build an account list. So they if we just kind of so I always like to start with at the company level, um, and then find contacts at those companies, build a target account list, and then later on find the contacts at those accounts, because usually the companies change less than the people within them. So um, for these guys, account location, they sell worldwide. Employees, I'm just going to use a custom range for a industry like hotel. Um, the data might be a little bit weird depending upon where the sources are coming from. So I'm just going to put a custom range of a minimum of 10 employees. We're just kind of getting started here to build a list. So um, I think for that's good for now. So it's basically at a high level, it's a hospitality industry. And boom, we already see like Marriott, Hilton, Four Seasons. So we're starting to get along the right track. I would say, like here, um, I'm going to put in, I'm going to use keyword. Let's see. So we have 81,000 so far. If we use the keyword, so that cuts it down to 24,000. I kind of lost Marriott, it looks like, which isn't good. And that's on this, the way I'm building this video too. I'm just going to, um, I might end up making some mistakes here, some trial and error, but it's not going to be 100% completely polished. So, but that's okay. So let's just see like why Marriott would have been dropped off there. Like if I go to this, so these are their company keywords. So I think even maybe just not saying hotels instead of hotel might have caused an issue there. So some of this again is trial and error. So let's get rid of that. So if I use hotels, okay, that gets it to 10,000. Okay, so we got 31,000 here. Let's just, I'm going to start to save this too. Just so if I don't want to lose my work, obviously. And I just want to make sure like Marriott is still in there because it kind of um, dropped off the list. All right, so let's continue onward here. Okay, so if I use hospitality as the industry and hotels as a keyword, it brings up what's a pretty, at first glance, like a really good, accurate list. Sometimes you can scroll through here, and if you see ones that don't look like a good fit, you can use kind of the negative keywords. I mean, these all look really good just as a first pass through. Um, I think to the point where, I mean, we have 10,100 companies here. Um, I actually want to save all these companies and add them to a list just so that we can use these later and kind of manipulate the data a little bit easier. So, and you saw the little message there. Apollo's going to cap it at 10,000. So I'm going to do something here to make sure I get all 10,100 um, after this finishes saving. Okay, so it saved part of it. Now what I'm going to do is actually exclude any companies that are already on that list. So I want to make sure I grab okay, I'm gonna, all right, so I've saved almost all of these so far. So I'm just gonna grab the net new companies that I haven't saved and add them to that list that I created, hotels. Um, so we have the full list now, and that would be saved back in here. So if I go to hotels, now I have all these hotels added. So that's a really good starting point. The next thing I'm going to do is also start to get into some of the, let's do buying intent. So I have a whole other video on this, but basically these are keywords. It comes from Bombora data. So at an account level, this data kind of scrapes the web and understands what research is happening. So if we put in like sustainability as an example, let's see if there's any that come up that are a match for these guys. So let's see. I mean, sustainability programs. So that's a great keyword. Like any company, any hotel that's researching around, say, sustainability programs, that's going to be somebody that Linens and Love would want to know about and prioritize as an account. Um, I'll just put sustainable travel here too. If I go back to their document, okay, like CSR is a good one. Corporate. Sometimes you got to play around. So there's corporate social responsibility software. I think that actually would still be good. Um, you got to play around with this a little bit to totally get the topics and keywords and the ways that they might use. ESG report, I guess, is another one. We'll see if that brings anything up. So, I mean, some of this, yeah, that's not bad. Waste reduction. I don't know if these are okay. So, it's software, but if if a hotel is buying that software, then that means they're probably at least, might be a good fit. Corporate giving is another good one. Corporate gifting. It's a little bit different, I think. But so let's just stay with these. So in this plan, we're allowed 12 up to 12 keywords. We have these 5 for now. So we'll save those intent topics. So, okay, got it. So basically, what this does now. So let's say we have this list of 10,000 hotels. We can now look at these intent topics if I select them all. And so there's actually 110 of those 10,000 that have either high or medium intent around these topics. And Marriott, as an example, they're looking at CSR software, um, Hyatt ESG reporting. So this is another signal. And some of these are smaller. So like this company, Standard Hotel, looking at waste reduction, um, sustainable travel. So these are just like keywords and maybe reasons to reach out or things that we can use to prioritize accounts and also personalize the messaging later. Um, I mean, and what we can do as well. Um, I'm going to, this is another idea, but like, let's grab these companies and just call it intent data. And we might be able to, we'll use that later. Website visitors. So this is another great thing to do where it's a new feature of Apollo. I have other videos on this, but basically you can grab this script, put it in your the footer tag, I believe, of your website, or the head tag, sorry, and then Apollo will be able to identify accounts at just the account level, not the person level, but identify accounts that visit your website. And then that can be another obviously strong like first party data signal of somebody, maybe they didn't fill out a form or agree to a demo or sign up, but there's some sort of signal there, and we can prioritize those accounts too and find the right people at those accounts and reach out to them. So that'll be a kind of a to do here. I'm not going to go into the whole setup, but it's pretty easy. And like I said, I have another video on that. You can check it out. Okay, so we'll connect that later. Technologies, they don't really have, as far as I know, anything here as far as the targeting. But like if for example, I don't know, it made sense to target like AWS companies, you can do that here and build lists around that. Um, Job postings a lot of time is another one, or another good one. Like, um, let's see. So if I go back over to their personas that they built, so for me, anybody that's hiring like a sustainability manager, maybe that might be a good signal. Um, whoops, I'm gonna remove the intent data. So at least on that list, nobody's hiring for it. But I mean, if um, if it's a little broader title, then that can work well sometimes too. Signals is another good one where if they're maybe growing or raising funding or rolling out new products, those can be good reasons to reach out. But so for now, like this is good at the account level, good enough. Um, so if I go back over to, let's just say this is our big list of accounts here. Um, Actually, I'll use the smaller intent data list just so it doesn't choke the system out. So let's say we wanted, okay, these are 110 great companies to reach out to. How do we find the people there? If we just build this or hit this find people tab, what I'm going to do is start to build personas. So build a new persona. Let's try this one, sustainability manager. Um, so this is going to be like a really granular one probably. But we have 32,000 people that match that. So there's definitely, if you wanted to add other filters on here, like for us, I think we're not going to want really small companies. I'll just add this. It can be a little bit redundant with the company lists, but at the same time, it's good to put that in there. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to create a second persona at least. Um, let's see. Operations director is a good one that we'll need. Um, so this one I'll do a little different. Let's use, instead of like that exact job title, um, let's do um, we'll do the department. So we want like VPs, head, director level, department operations. So that brings up a lot of people. Again, I'll just throw a minimum employee size filter on here. All right, and create this persona. So now you can start to see. So this list, these are actually sorry, these are people, it's not the best way to show it to you. So these are people that are in our 110 company list of intent data companies. So companies that are looking at, first of all, their hotels. They're also looking at some sort of sustainability or green or corporate giving topic. In this case, they match our operations director. So you can start to look at these, like this is Marriott area director of operations, president of hotel operations at the Four Seasons. So, I mean, you can kind of eyeball this and go through and just make sure there's nothing coming through that's a bad fit. And just over time, continue to kind of fine tune it. Like, as an example, like one thing on the personas that can happen sometimes. I don't have an example here, but let's say I want to use a negative keyword too. Um, so actually, this is the wrong one to show. Let's do the sustainability manager one. So one thing that can happen sometimes, let's do not any of. So somebody might come through with like a, let's say an intern title. See that the number of results actually went down on that. Maybe we want to get rid of like associates, went down a little bit more. So like if you at any time you see somebody that's not a good fit, um, you can definitely remove them at the individual level, but it's also good to kind of just fine tune these personas over time. All right, so now we have, and what we could do too, if we wanted, is add all these people and add them to the list, but it's not really necessary. Um, but so we have a good account list. We have some good ways to get the people at those accounts now. Um, what we haven't done is set up any of the mailboxes yet. So I'll go through that. So if we just go here, and I'm just going to show you how to do one, but it's pretty simple to link up a mailbox. So I'm already logged in with this account. So this mailbox is set up. So right now we're not really ready to send emails out. It has not been warmed. It's actually in the process of warming up. And there's a lot around email deliverability um, as far as setting up the domains properly with like DKIM, SBF, DMARC records. Um, so we'll go through a little bit of that here, but that's definitely probably like a longer conversation. But um, I'll just start this like super low right now because I don't want I don't want anything to really go out for now. So um, I will add this message at the bottom. I'm going to disable open tracking. Some people keep it on. It actually might hurt deliverability to have that on. So custom domain is something that we want to set up. We already did this. Sorry. So this will actually be mail dot. Hold on one One sec. Okay, so we've added this in the DNS settings. So yeah, Apollo has like a little status check here. So these are all good. Green means good. Um, and again, I'm not going to go through all the DNS settings on this video, but there's ways to do that. So ramp up Mailbox. This is email warming. Basically, Apollo used to have this tool. They got rid of it. Now it's back again. So this is good. So basically, if you have a fresh domain in Mailbox, this warming tool kind of makes basically sends out some emails, automatically responds to some, and kind of gradually warms up the mailbox so you can do cold outreach. There's different theories as to whether that works well or not, but for now, we're going to go with it. So we will set that up. So in my plan here, you can get up to 15 mailboxes. I'll set up a whole bunch. Won't show you every single one of those right here. But actually, so this setup progress, it shows it's at 40%. I don't know why sending limits are too high. Some of this doesn't completely make sense sometimes as far as their tool, because most of this is working. But it's a good little quick check, basically. All right, we've connected all the inboxes now. And I know I'm jumping around a little bit here, but I do also want to create or start to create a custom account score. And I have another longer video on this, but it's a good thing to do, and it will help us over time identify the best companies to reach out to. So a few different things here. So again, like anyone with keywords, hotels, that's going to be good for us. I think for this this particular client, sorry, this is bothering me. A lot of it is going to be this bottom section. So we've built these lists already. Sorry. So for instance, the buying intent. So any company that has high buying intent for any of those keywords is really good. So we'll give them 20 points for that. Anybody that has, let's say, medium buying intent for any of those keywords, we'll give 15. If someone's in one of these account lists already, like hotels, we like that. So over time, you can either upload other lists into Apollo, or there's more filters that you can build out on either custom fields or up here, like certain demographic data if they get funding, keywords, technologies that are installed, etc. For us, actually, retail locations might be good. So, because we like chains, might be good. So if there's something that has more than 5 locations, I'm going to give that points. So we'll save that. We'll continue to build on this over time and kind of fine tune it. It might not make so it's already identified like 435 accounts that are at least fair. If you want to change kind of these scores here, in what constitutes fair versus excellent or whatever, you can bump them up. So those are good accounts right now. So this is another way to continue to make sure that if there are new accounts that enter in the market, maybe based on intent data or your other criteria, that we can kind of set up these lists and make sure that we're reaching out to the right people at those. And I'll show you how to do that later on in plays. So the next thing we need to do here, main thing, is build a sequence. So I'm just going to, sorry, I don't want a pre-formatted one. I'm going to build it from scratch and just call it, I don't know, general outreach for now. So these guys have already created a sequence. So there's a lot of different steps that you can do. You can create tasks for like your SDRs if it's, make a phone call or write a manual email. There's a LinkedIn automation. But for us, we're just going to do automatic emails. So 30 minutes after the contact is added, the email is going to get queued up. So if you look on the right, Apollo now is really doing a good job with kind of writing some of these AI sequences right off the bat. So, this is pretty good. Like, notice that at your company, you might be dealing with surplus linens, et cetera, et cetera. We partner with hotels. So, you can fine tune some of this stuff. I'm actually going to just add that here. And I like to just do as many of these kind of A/B tests as we can. But first, I'm going to just copy and paste some of the info that we have from another spot here. Okay, copy pasted some of this in here. You can see, and I have a whole other email on these dynamic variables. There's a lot you can do with it. But here we're using first name, company name, like pretty sender first name, pretty generic stuff. And then if you choose a contact, eventually over on the right, so we don't actually have any contacts saved right now, but you can see the variables that get dropped in. So here it's example, Google, and then May is the sender. You want to use as many of these as makes sense to kind of spin up different versions of these emails so the wording is not all the same and it's personalized, and then also obviously targeted and relevant for the company. So in the interest of kind of time here, I'm just going to move along. We'll save this. So you can also add other steps here. So here we're going to wait 4 days and then send the next email. So I'm going to copy this in. All right, I went ahead and copy and pasted some other steps into this sequence. So we've built account list, built personas, connected mailboxes, started to build a custom account score, build a sequence. So now we want to connect all these things together. You can do it manually, which I'll show you how to do here. But it's, in my opinion, way better to set up plays so that the system is just automatically going to find the right people to reach out to and build up a queue. So if you wanted to kind of manually drop people in, this is one way to do it. So let's connect, check out all these 110 intent data accounts. And actually, if you look now, our custom account score, if you go over Marriott, they're considered an excellent fit because they have 5+ retail locations, a hotel keyword, they're in certain lists. So those models get better and better over time as you give Apollo more data. But that's kind of a quick and dirty one. But so if we want to find find people at these 110 accounts, let's say we want to find the sustainability managers, which is like a super niche title, but these are great people to reach out to. 18 of them at those 110 accounts. We could grab all these people, add to an existing sequence, and then choose our sequence and then go from there. But what I want to do is set up plays so all this stuff happens automatically and our client doesn't have to basically do all that manually every time. So there's going to be a few different plays here. I'll set this up to run once a week, indefinitely. So bunch of different plays we want to set up, but really a simple one is going to be, okay, we add our accounts that match our personas. We want to drop them into a list. I might have to build this play and then check on it later. I'll show you how to do that. But so what do we want to do? And actually, there's one other thing I want to add here, and we'll probably add it at the persona level too. But I want to only email to people that have email status either likely to engage or verified. So we know that the data is definitely good. So I'm going to add these people to a sequence. It's the general outreach sequence. Really, we only have one user in this account, but a lot of times you might have a bunch and you can kind of rotate the mailboxes through. But basically, so what this is going to do is look at our account list, find the right people at those accounts that have good emails to reach out to, add them, drop them into this sequence. And we'll have this run every time. I'm going to call this general contacts to sequence. All right, I'm going to save it. And actually, I'm going to do one last thing because this is set to run in the past. I'm going to scroll up and have this run in a little bit here. And actually, one other thing that I'll have to do, just because I know this is an issue, max people per run, because if it'll actually choke out, and if there's too many people on this, Apollo won't run the whole job. So let's just do this as 500, or I don't know, 1,000 people each time. If we save that. So eventually, if we just click on this, if this runs in an hour, you're going to see the people that got added to this list. You can also go to the activity tab and see if the play ran and if it was successful or not. So this is the start of kind of automating the whole outreach. It's definitely very powerful. There's a lot to it, but we've pretty much done everything to at least get started in Apollo. And as this starts to run, I'll actually just go in and do add some manual people like we talked about. Let's grab these 18 people, add them to this sequence. You can select very specific mailboxes if you want. We'll have it send from all of these. Just kind of the system will just spread it out. Okay, it's going to send from all those. Save. So now if we go into emails, and that sequence is still not toggled on, but when it is, these emails will be in the queue and they'll start to go out. So So now in here, you can see we have 18 emails scheduled to go out. As these start going out, you'll see other columns here like sent, if any got blocked via spam or bounce back, and then also replied, interested, etc. So this is kind of one of the spots where you can go to see kind of a unified inbox in Apollo. Um, Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but we're kind of off and running, and this is the basics of an Apollo setup. Um, if you have other questions, comment down below or reach out to me. Thanks.